This is a very big blow to the status of San Francisco as North America's tech hub and also a leader in tech cities around the world. Now, everyone, when they think of like a tech city, they think of Miami, they think of Las Vegas, they think of Shenzhen, China, they think of Mumbai, India, they think of Singapore. You get the idea, right? San Francisco is no longer on the list of hot tech cities in the world. People just don't want to be here. And you probably know why if you've followed this channel for the past few weeks. You probably know why. Well, the amount of homelessness, the drugs, the crime, the shoplifting, the lawlessness is just out of control, man. Like, a city shouldn't be this way. And if the crazy part is San Francisco actually publicly said that they are actually recovering. I don't think they're recovering at all when every single one of your stores is leaving. I don't think they're recovering when the biggest mall in San Francisco and by far one of the biggest hotels in California closed down in San Francisco, combined together defaulted on a $1.3 billion total loan. You have NEMA, another skyscraper, defaulting. You have probably about 20 or 30 skyscrapers in San Francisco that are probably going to default in the next 12 to 16 months simply because of so much neglect in the city. People who have loans maturing in the next month to loans maturing in the next 20 months. Everyone's freaked out right now. Nobody wants to be here. In fact, street conditions are so bad that Salesforce CEO is threatening to pull Dreamforce from San Francisco. Now, if you guys don't know what Dreamforce is, this is like a massive event hosted by Salesforce themselves. Essentially, it's by far one of the biggest AI events of the year. You're obviously going to be having some of the biggest guys like the OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman. And you're also going to be having several other big individuals and celebrities, not just in the US, but around the world that come to Dreamforce to talk about AI, data, and also future technologies. If you're an AI geek or if you're a massive investor of tech, AI, stocks, if you're a VC investor, whatever you are, if you want to do AI, Dreamforce is by far one of the biggest and most exciting events of the tech world. And now San Francisco's status as Dreamforce's location is now deteriorating because if you're the leader of Salesforce, right, and you're hosting this massive AI event to showcase all the talented individuals around the world and also AI, do you really want to stage it in a place like this? Probably not. San Francisco looks like this 24/7, right? You don't want the people coming from different cities and different countries in the world, rich people, billionaires, investors, to be in a place like this. Because obviously Dreamforce is going to be in downtown San Francisco. And even Good Morning America is like, this is by far one of the most dangerous places to walk around. Street conditions have gotten so bad that even federal employees, okay, Nancy Pelosi building, the federal building in San Francisco is now telling employees to just work from home. When asked how long they're going to work from home, there is no time limit. So it's going to be unlimited. We're seeing not just Salesforce and Dreamforce threatening to pull out of San Francisco, but you already have guys like Meta and also IBM's Red Hat pulling out. And obviously I got to pay a subscription to show you guys this, but just keep in mind IBM, they're not hosting this event anymore. Meta, they're pulling out. They're going somewhere else. And apparently Denver is like a really popular place for some reason. But so far, it's a shame for San Francisco because the whole reason why San Francisco is such a big hotbed as a tech city, or I guess it used to be such a big city in tech, it's because of these major events, right? By IBM, by Meta, by Salesforce. These are going to be events that stimulate a lot of the creativity. And this is what brings people in. Obviously, it's a status thing too, right? You don't want to put Dreamforce in like the middle of the trenches, in the middle of a war zone. That just looks bad on you and people wouldn't really come. In fact, some people might even cancel because of safety reasons. So now they're thinking about perhaps moving to a different part of the Bay Area or moving just straight up out of California altogether. I mean, recently Miami, Las Vegas are becoming really big hotbeds for tech events and also tech startups, which is pretty much stealing talent from San Francisco. San Francisco is just such an amazing place. I've been here before the pandemic during 2019. It was truly a fantastic place. Streets were packed with tech employees. streets were packed with tourism and also VC investors. There were just so much tech brimming around, so many startups, and just a lot of talent overall. Now, San Francisco, the streets are empty, malls are closed, mom and pop stores are closed. When you walk the streets of San Francisco, you no longer feel the tech vibe, but instead you feel a vibe that's actually very scary and it freaks people out. I mean, look at this. You already have just straight up robberies in the daytime. I mean, it's one thing to have crime in the city. Every city has crime, obviously. But it's another thing when laws are so lax that criminals just run free. It's just what San Francisco is like right now. And it's really sad to see the situation because so many of these major tech cities, they look pretty great, right? I mean, San Francisco used to be a fantastic place to live, fantastic place to work, but not anymore. It's deteriorating at a speed that that's incredible. I mean, malls, hotels close within the span of 5 months. If you look around, a lot of these malls like Nordstrom, they're closing down. And when they close, they're never coming back. Whole Foods is closing. Old Navy is closing. Look at how empty the biggest mall in San Francisco is. This is the biggest mall. Look at this. Nordstrom is now packing up. There are nearly 500,000 square feet of retail space. It is a ghost mall in the middle of a tech downtown. Really makes no sense. Whole luxury towers are now going default because the city is neglecting. And guess what? There's just homelessness everywhere, right? There's tents everywhere. There's drug use everywhere, shoplifting everywhere, and also robberies everywhere. Not to mention, San Francisco and Oakland is ranked number 1 in terms of car theft, which is not a thing to be proud of at all. And this is why so many individuals are leaving San Francisco in droves. And like I said before, even the luxury skyscraper NEMA could be defaulting on their loan despite being in a pretty decent location right next to the X headquarters, or aka Twitter. But right now, we're going to be seeing Salesforce heavily consider right now. They're really thinking about perhaps pulling Dreamforce from San Francisco and hosting an event somewhere else. A lot of people are screaming Florida. People are screaming Austin. People are screaming Las Vegas. I mean, if they do host this in Las Vegas, it's really not that bad. It's pretty close to California. Not to mention, it's a pretty fantastic place. I guess some of the VCs and investors and people who are going to this event will probably gamble some money at the casino, have some fun, have some good food, and at least get away from the tents and the craziness of San Francisco. And like I said before, San Francisco just really isn't offering any major options. And like I said before in several videos, San Diego, I don't really like the city that much, but it's recently a massive winner on my list of cities because they actually put a massive ban on homeless encampments. So you can't have just a bunch of tents on the sidewalk. I don't know why it's such a controversial idea. I mean, I'm not crazy, am I? I mean, no tents on the sidewalk. That's not a crazy idea. Because if you have tents on the sidewalk, businesses pull out because they don't get any money. And then your city will go broke because there's no businesses to tax. And how are you supposed to help the people who are in need? San Diego pretty much put all the homeless people in the tents in designated areas of the city. And they also provide food, water, and also a lot of different amenities for people who are in need. And at the same time, they have the money to do this because the businesses are still around to be taxed. And that is why San Diego, despite having a growing homeless population, is actually flourishing in terms of tech, work, and also tourism. Whereas San Francisco is just going down the drain. And it sucks because San Francisco really is the tech city of North America. But if it keeps up like this, I mean, Salesforce pulling out, that's bad because the Salesforce is like San Francisco's biggest employer.